Welcome to episode 6 on will. In this episode, we are going to see some rules of construction of a will, some construction of the words, some ambiguities in the will, what is cumulative and non-cumulative bequest, what is void will, etc. etc. Now, let's start with construction of will. These are all general rules. First one, an important general rule is in constructing a will, the court must give effect to the intention of the testator. The court should put itself into the position of the testator and incorporate the expressions therein. This is called armchair rule. It means the judge puts himself in position of the testator and then tries to see from his eyes what a testator intended to in the words put in by him. Secondly, words. As I have already told you, there is no technical words necessary to make a will. Only thing, the intention of the testator must be clearly getting reflected into the words that he has used. Unless contrary intention appears, the same words and same phrases used at different places in the will should carry the same meaning or should be given the same meaning. Words describing property to be bequeathed must be deemed to be the property at the time of the death of the testator. Next is bequest without words of limitation refer to the whole of the property. Next, words expressing relationship denotes only legitimate relations and not illegitimate relations. Please note. Now let's see what are the ambiguities in a will. Now there are two types of ambiguities. One is the patent ambiguity and second is the latent ambiguity. Now in patent ambiguity, which is very clear on the face of the document, that's called patent ambiguity. Now example is, I bequeath rupees 1 lakh to blank. I don't mention anybody's name. So this is called a patent ambiguity because court will not understand to whom the intention of the testator is to give that rupees 1 lakhs. And second type of ambiguity is latent ambiguity, where words are unambiguous. Very clearly they mean what it is, but it is found by extrinsic evidence that there are more than one meaning, only one of which could have been the valid thing. Now example, I bequeath rupees 1 lakh to my niece Mary. Now after the death of the testator, it is found there are two nieces with the same name as Mary. Now question is, to whom it should be given? So in that case, circumstantial evidences can be taken recourse to that testator indicated or intention to pay to which Mary. So external evidence is admissible in latent ambiguity case, whereas in patent ambiguity, no external evidence can be taken recourse to. Please note. Now next is, in case of inconsistent clauses, there is possibility that the clauses into the various positions written into the will may have some inconsistency into it. Now, the meaning of the clause is to be collected in such cases by reading the entire will. It means the entire will is to be read and then inference the judge will take out what the inconsistency means and what the testator might have meant. So in case of inconsistent clauses, the whole will is taken into account and then proper meaning is drawn out. Now let's see what is cumulative and what is non-cumulative bequest. So where testator has bequeathed a legacy to the same person twice. Many times it happens. On page 1, it is written that I bequeath rupees 1 lakh to Mr. Abhay, and on 5th page again it is written that I bequeath rupees 1 lakh to Mr. Abhay. Now, when there are multiple mentions of the same thing, now what is the rule? What happens is now as follows. Now, case 1, legatee takes only one bequest. If the same specific thing is given twice to the same legatee, then he takes only one. Example, I bequeath 100 shares of Maruti Limited to Mr. Gonsalves. Now he has got only 100 shares in his account. So even if he mentioned it twice, the Mr. Gonsalves is going to get only 100 shares only once. Second, if the same will or codicil makes in two positions or two locations, a bequest is made to the same person, same quantity and same amount, then again the legatee gets only once only. Like I bequeath rupees 1 lakh to, and afterwards the same will I repeat same words to the same person and it is 1 lakh only, then the legatee will take only once and not twice. Now the legatee takes both the bequests, that means he will get both if two legacies of unequal amount given to the same person in same will or in same codicil. It means A bequeaths to B sum of rupees 1 lakh and afterwards in the same will he again bequeaths rupees 1.5 lakhs again to A or to B. Then B gets totally 1 plus 1.5, that is 2.5 lakhs. Secondly, if two legacies of equal or unequal amount given to the same legatee, one by a will and the other by a codicil or in different codicils, then again he gets twice. Example, A bequeaths to B rupees 1 lakh by will and rupees 1 lakh by codicil, then B is entitled to get 2 lakhs. So please note the difference. This is very important because in general a person is likely to mention at various places same thing to same legatee or different things to same legatee. So these rules must be kept in mind by a person who makes the will, and he has to be very careful. Now let's see what are the void wills. Now we have already seen, but section 59 mentions will by minor, lunatic person, person of unsound mind made into the unsoundness of mind is invalid. So capacity to make a will is called testamentary factio. So unless the person is legally competent to make will, the will made by him will be void. That is first. Now second, section 61, will caused by fraud, coercion, deception, threat, etc. is void. Now suppose it is found that only some portion of the will appears to be written under fraud or deception, and such portion can be clearly separated from the rest of the will, then only that portion is void and the rest of the will is considered valid. Mistake. There is no specific provision in the Act in India for this mistake. So the person while making a will should be very, very careful to whom he is bequeathing what and whether he really wants to do that, because the mistake made into the will and executed, once the will is executed, the alteration can be done only by again attestation, otherwise it's not acceptable. Further, fourth one, oral privilege will. We saw it earlier in last episode. A warrior made a privileged will. After the war ended, he comes back and 1 month passes, then he doesn't make another unprivileged will, revoking the earlier privileged will, then the privileged will gets lapsed. Uncertain will is considered void, given in section 89. So there shouldn't be uncertainty in the will. Whatever intention of the testator should be clearly getting spelled out in the will, in the words. Please understand, void will and void bequest are not same. If a particular bequest is not as per law or not acceptable, that doesn't make the whole will void. But if the will itself is void, declared void, then any bequest made inside it, even if they are valid, doesn't hold true. Now, what is residuary legatee? The residuary legatee is one to whom the testator gives the surplus residue of his property after the legacies and bequests are made. No particular mode of expression or language is necessary. Now, if to give you an example, I bequeath all my property to Z except certain specific stocks to my and fund to Y. Now, Z in this case is a residuary legatee because whatever he gets excepting what Y got is his. So he is a residuary legatee. Friends, we stop here, and next episode we will see lapsing of legacies and what are the types of bequest, and that would be the last episode on will. Thank you for patiently listening to me, and do subscribe to my channel and write to my email for any legal consultancy. Thank you.